Alright, I just want to show you something that drained my energy, my will to live. I was playing Super Battle Road earlier today. I was actually trying to beat it with the Realm of Gods category team, because I got your boy Beerus. His Extreme Z Awakening ain't here, but this nigga's a fucking beast. I actually only used one item so far in this first battle, which is a W. Had my boy go fucking giant god mode on these bitches, and I was out here nuking people. Look at that. Critical. Beautiful. Loving it. I was loving it. But, unfortunately, on Global, and I believe in JP as well, but definitely on Global, there's a glitch with the giant apes. If you kill someone or your opponent, basically if you trigger the KO screen with a giant ape, the fucking app crashes. It legit just crashes, and you can't fucking finish it. Like, that shit drained me so fucking much. And I knew it was a problem, but legit, that shit has existed since like fucking November, and I thought they fixed it. And then that shit happened today, and I'm like, ooh, my will to live went down the drain. But hey, you know what? Who needs a Realm of Gods team? They're old news. We here with Rebrand, which means we got your man, big bitch, in the building. I don't know how her feet are that small. I don't understand. Like, I would like to see her skeleton structure and try to understand how the fuck is that possible. Yeah, I got the Peppy Gals squad, which, if you don't know, is pretty much the easiest category you can do with Super Battle Road. The enemies aren't too crazy. They're crazy, but they're not that crazy. And I recommend to use Peppy Gals because you only really need one or two summon units. As you can see, I have one of the best Peppy Gal hoes out here. Is your girl, Super Saiyan 2 Kefla, who's really, really good. And as you can see, I don't have any dupes other than the free shit. But she is still really fucking good. She usually supers twice, really good for fucking up people's defense. And she's also good defensively herself because she gets, what? Attack and defense plus 12% per key sphere. Pretty much the same as Perfect Self. She's a pretty good tank. And then I also recommend, if you pulled her, your bitch, your girl, Caulifla, actually is pretty damn good. Really good at dodging. I actually put 15 dodge into her because I use her on other teams, and I use her for the purpose of dodging, so I put some dodges in there and additionals for defensive purposes, because every time she supers, she gets a 30% defense increase. And everyone else is free to play. You can farm Bulma right now. You can not farm her. She's not free to play, although I will recommend, if for some reason you do not have that Mai, I recommend in the story event, which one? I believe it's the story event, Universe 6 Saga. No, not this. Not Universe 6 Saga. There's a lot of events out, bro. You be out here fucking grinding, my boy. This one right here, the Universe Survival Saga. A lot of good characters to farm here. If you have an Ultimate Gohan, this is what I use to farm my SDR Ultimate Gohan. I would recommend this bitch, the Tension Style Dojo's Mystery. She's actually pretty good when it comes to stunning, and she's free, so fuck it. And she's a Peppy Gal, so at least you have something. And then for everyone else, I put for Kale, I got Super Saiyan 2 Kale from here. Got a rainbowed, why not? Got the SA up for Caulifla from the SDR one, and then the Awakening Medals for Kefla. Pretty good Peppy Gals team. Everything's free. Obviously, Rebrand, she's free. Unfortunately, her event isn't here, so if you wanted to do this, you kind of have to wait unless you have her. You could use Caulifla as lead, but I don't know. I feel like, for me, my thing that I like is using the team I have right now and then taking another Caulifla as a friend because I like the dodges. I fuck with the dodges. OD, I fuck with the dodges. So, gonna go ahead, gonna take your girl Caulifla. I wonder if Kefla... Nah, I guess Kefla's only Patara. Whatever, gonna take Caulifla. Rainbow, too. Also, changed up my items a little bit. Decided to take your boy Krillin's daughter. 25% damage reduction for 3 turns, or was it 25% defense? I don't remember. But I think she's really good just because she's one of the few damage reduction support items that last for 3 turns. And one thing, if you do try out Peppy Gals, I recommend if you never did Super Battle Road before, go do the regular Super Battle Road with some other category, get your ass fucking kicked because you're like, what the fuck, I can't do this. And then come do Peppy Gals because Peppy Gals actually is not that bad, especially with these units because a lot of them have dodge. Bulma can actually block, and in general, these enemies don't really hit as hard. So yeah, as you can see, attack reduced by 25% for 3 turns. That is pretty damn good, honestly. I would recommend it. Even if it was a defense plus 25%, for the units that I use, it wouldn't be that bad. straight up Skrilla, taking big old W's. But yeah, this seems like the easiest Super Battle Road team to win with, as well as the most consistent. I'd say that, you know, in the past, I've only done Super Battle Road maybe 4 times. I know you could do it 20 and get the LR, I think, if I remember correctly, as opposed to doing all types and then categories. I recommend, if you're going to grind it out, I guess might as well use this team. Then again, if I were you, like for me personally, the way I play this game is like, if I can do an event, and I can, as autistic as it sounds, if I can do an event, I can prove, hey, you know, I could do this event 100 times, I just did it. Why don't I just run a script? So if you don't feel like playing, run a script. Although, in my opinion, it depends on whatever you find fun. I mean, me personally, if I have time, if I'm watching TV or something, I usually play Dokkan. It doesn't bother me that much if it's something that's actually somewhat fun. Like, the Dokkan events are fun. Certain events are fun, although when it gets really super duper grindy, it takes like hours. And by hours, I mean if you didn't use Dragon Souls to refresh your stamina, then that's like, nigga, get the script. Get the script. And by the way, I never knew Caulifla actually had a fucking counter attack. That was the first time when I was using her. I was like, what the fuck, this bitch can counter? I guess it's like a medium chance or something like that. But as you can see, this bitch be dodging. I put 15 dodge on this bitch for a reason, just so she could get hit by Goku right here. That's when I was like, come on, man. Come on. Really? You gonna disrespect me like that? But you know what? Your girl Mai gonna hit him with the stun, bitch. Yeah, I definitely think for Super Battle Road, it's kind of a simple formula. You want to either do a mixture of stunning, tanking, and damage reduction. Usually 2. Usually you want to do 2. Do stunning, or do stunning and damage reduction, or damage reduction and tanking, or with 2, because then you start having like jack of all trades, master of none type shit. I really recommend you try to take like 1 tank, 2 if you could, because fuck it, tanking is tanking. And then like for my tech team, if I remember correctly, I had 2 damage reduction Mongs. I had Yamcha and I had Pycon. That was a good fucking team, dude. That was great. Because once you get the damage reduction, once they both super, and sometimes Yamcha or Pycon would double super, that's it. Those fuckers, like, even then, Super Battle Road, like, they're not doing a lot of damage, dude. And as you can see, Kefla, no dupes, literally just 5 additional, and this bitch is out here doing super dupers. I fuck with this bitch heavy. But other than that, I've been chilling today. I have been relaxing, maxing, acting all cool. I was actually reading some news, getting fucking Aja, because my president, my boy, Donald Trump is fucking, he is horny to build this fucking wall, boy. This man is like, listen, we will shut the government down for fucking months, fucking years if we have to. I don't give a fuck. And I'm like, oh my god. And already, if I'm not mistaken, today is 2 weeks and 2 days. It's 16 days since the government shutdown. And that's so much jutsu. Like, anyone out there who works a government job, oh boy, that's a drain, man. That is a fucking drain. Because you're not necessarily guaranteed to get paid unless you're essential and you are working during those hours, which in case you will get paid. But it's going to be after the shutdown is over. So, like, imagine if this shutdown lasts another 15 days. You go a month without your fucking paycheck. My nigga, if I went a month without my paycheck, I could survive, actually. Yeah, I could survive. I have about some savings, but fuck, man. Like, some people would have to take out loans and shit. That's like my boy. My friend is a state trooper. And he told me that in 2008, when the recession hit, the state troopers weren't paid for a month. And people were like, fuck, like, some people had to take out loans and shit to pay their bills. Some people had to do this, that, and the third, you know what I mean? Start trapping. Fucking, when you go to arrest someone for drug possession, you gotta take the drug, start selling it, you know, gotta be crazy. But that sucks. That really sucks. And this is something that is so disheartening for me personally, because, you know, the entire point of a healthy government, the entire point of a republic, the entire point of representatives is so that they fucking, you know, do their job and I can do my job. And the whole idea of a society is that you give up certain vestiges, you give up certain, I don't want to say freedoms, more like privileges, in the idea that all together you work in a more perfect society. But it's like, what the fuck, man? Like, I hate the fact that now I gotta turn into I hate, like, I like politics, but I hate current politics just for the simple reason that it makes me fucking sick, man. Like, I can't, like, a lot of times if I hear something that's, like, fucked, I have to, like, pretend like it's from a history book and I'm reading it from the past, you know, if I was alive in the 70s, I think I would have just had a stroke, like, all the shit the government was doing back, the government, man, not so much the government, it was mostly the executive branch. In the 70s, like, the executive branch of the government was a bunch of fucking scumbags. I mean, granted, they saw it as kind of a executive privilege where, you know, Nixon's like, you know what, fuck it, we're going to war, we don't need anything. And then other times it was just like pure selfishness. I mean, the whole Watergate scandal, Nixon decided, you know what, I don't want these Democrats talking shit about me. Let me go fucking bug their rooms and make sure they're not talking shit. Like, what the fuck, are you serious, dude? What an asshole. And then, of course, he completely gets off, you know, without anything, no impeachment, no jail time, because his boy, Spiro Agnew, fucking abolished, or not abolished, what's the word? It starts with an A, not abolished. Can't remember the word, but he absolved, there we go, absolved him of his crimes, because technically Spiro Agnew was president for like a hot minute, and then Ford was sworn in. Something like that. I could have sworn it was Agnew who gave him the fucking, the pass. But either way, the 70s was pretty fucked when it came to American politics. And then right after the Nixon administration, people were basically like, fucking enough of fucking Republicans, fuck them, we want Democrats. And then Jimmy Carter became president. And this was, you know, kind of formative in American history, because this was literally a time in American history. Historians kind of refer to it as like a period of like kind of American doubt. The idea that, are we really the greatest country? Is this really a good thing we're doing? Because again, Nixon lied about certain things. The executive branch lied about certain things. I mean, the Supreme Court had to go through the entire fucking, you know, the 1971 New York Times versus the United States issue just to find out about the Pentagon Papers and find out the executive branch was lying to the Supreme Court and lying to the judiciary and basically doing unconstitutional acts, because Congress is the only body that can technically declare war. And the way it is now with the War Powers Act of 1971, it may have been updated, but at least in 1971, it was passed that the United States president can, you know, do an act of war of some sort for 90 days, and that after that 90-day period, Congress must say whether or not this action will continue, and if they say no, then that's it. The president does not have power to declare war. But of course, in times of war, you know, actual war, you know, there's always time for debate and, you know, kind of executive privileges. Like, you look at Abraham Lincoln, during that time, there's things like writ of habeas corpus, where it was just like, fuck it, you're going to jail, we don't have time for this shit. You're not going to be in front of a jury, you're going straight to jail, stupid. But, you know, again, that's like legit warfare. What we were doing in 1971, yeah, we were in war with Vietnam, but fucking Cambodia didn't have to go to war. Fucking the shit we were doing in Cuba wasn't necessary. And it's just something that, like I said, in the 70s, you know, the executive branch lying, and then you go on to Jimmy Carter, where Jimmy Carter wasn't a terrible president, but he had some shit fucking luck, dude. Like, in 1971, that man was getting roasted because, you know, he had the Olympics debacle, where I believe there was terrorists that did something at the Olympics, sent in a fucking Black Hawk, the shit got shot down, the operation was a failure, and they kind of looked at the executive branch as a weak entity because of that. And then shortly after that, the American government fucked up because they thought they had hella clout when they really didn't. And they said that, listen, why don't we move away from a gold standard towards a different standard? And Saudi Arabia and every other fucking Arab country that had oil was like, whoa, 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 whoa. This man's talking about what? Not gold? What? Shut your mouth. So because of that economic decision, the U.S. hit its first, well, not first, but it was a really big embargo, an oil embargo. That oil embargo actually is what fueled in America, you know, speed limits, shit like that. Go 60 miles per hour because it's safe, and also, like, we're trying to save some fucking gas, boy. Don't be spending so much money on that fucking gas. So, 70s, pretty fucked. I definitely recommend, if you don't give a fuck about history and just want to be taught by accident, I recommend you watch F is for Family, because that's a show. It's on Netflix. It's basically Bill Burr's retelling of America in the 70s and a family in the 70s. And it was interesting because if you watch that, they even kind of commented on a little bit, you know, just talking about how, like, the economy was fucked, or, you know, back in their day they had American cars, now we got all this Japanese shit. It's kind of like the burgeoning of globalization, the burgeoning of, like, American weakness, in the sense that you know, it felt like it was scary. It was scary because in America, it's always been a period, especially in the 50s, 60s, where we're just like, we're the shit. We just blew up Japan. We just fucking raped fucking Germany. Eat ass, fucking Axis powers. We're on a different level. And then we had kind of like a moment of reflection with the civil rights movement. We're like, fuck, are we really pieces of shit where we just treat other people differently because of the color of their skin? It's like, yeah, we are. We're fucking pieces of shit. And then right after that, you know, we had other minority groups come out, you know, women, Latino Americans, fuck, even Native Americans. And then you had the whole gay movement with the Madison Society and shit like that. Basically a moment of America saying, hey, you know, the 50s was basically saying, we're the shit, we're amazing, nothing's, you know, we are perfect. And then the 60s was like, yeah, we ain't really perfect, bro. If you want to be perfect, we could be perfect, but we ain't perfect right now. And that's why a lot of times, if I remember correctly, historians, I believe they marked the time from the 1970s up until the first Gulf War. I think they called it Vietnamization, something like that, something to do with Vietnam, because again, Vietnam was like a moment of American failure, all the things I mentioned, and also the fact that people weren't behind the war. They're like, why the fuck are we in here? Why are we attacking Vietnam? And it was probably the first time where, you know, even the American military was like, fuck it. They had something called fragging in the 70s, where in Vietnam, captains in the military would get grenades thrown in their tent and they'd fucking die because the subordinates were like, this is fucking bullshit. Why the fuck am I out here risking my life for some bullshit? And they were like, fucking. It was basically just a time of just civil unrest in America. And then hilariously, if you really think about it, if you look at American history from that period to the 80s, it was kind of like a rekindling of like, listen, we are a great country. We fucked up. We try to be better. You know, your boy George W. Bush, he came back with the first Gulf War. That was kind of like, again, that's where historians say this is when the whole idea of Vietnamization was kind of dying out, because it's like, oh, look at us, we in war, we running shit again. Europe, you better pay attention to us, we gods. And then pretty much what consolidated the fact that America was great again, make America great again, was your boy Ronald Reagan, because right after George W. Bush, fucking Ronald Reagan comes through and he goes, listen, we are going to make America great again. And this is a sentiment that actually kind of ring true at that time, because it was just at the beginning of America getting back into its groove, you know, kind of coming to terms with who we were as a nation, what we'd accomplished in the past 20 years. And fucking Jesus Christ, Reagan was the shit, man. Even though he was a piece of shit when you look at history, because he kind of abused his executive powers a little bit with the whole Iran-Contra scandal. But don't worry, your boy Oliver North just fucking took the bullet. If you don't know what the Iran-Contra scandal is again, like I mentioned, the executive branch of the government does not have power to declare war. So the thing is, though, the United States was very interested in Iran. They were very interested in influencing Iran. And at the time, basically the executive branch got wrapped up with Contras in South America, right? And they were doing drugs and shit. They were doing some illegal shit, right? They were taking the drugs from the drug dealers and selling it, point blank. They were, you know, it's kind of like a dirty cop taking drugs and selling it. So, and the whole idea was that drug money would be under the table, and that would be used to fuel the whole saga of Iran. If I remember correctly, wasn't that part of the Mujahideen, the OG Osama bin Laden? Like, he was part of the that's when America liked Osama bin Laden, before he became a piece of shit with 9/11. And he was basically fighting, I believe, oh no, that wasn't Iran, that was Afghanistan. Similar, but not the same thing. Either way, point is, the executive branch, and the reason why I say it's the executive branch is because a lot of times people say, oh, America did this, America did that. It's like, no, it's the executive branch, the president of the United States. Like, a lot of times, if you look at historically, the president tries some scheme shit because they like trying some scheme shit. And so basically, you know, Ronald Reagan's like, yeah, you know, we got some drug money under the table, you know what I mean? We got some money pumping. We don't need Congress to allocate more funds because, again, only Congress can declare war. Only Congress manages that. And he's like, yo, we got this Iran-Contra shit going on. We good. And then it got found out. But thankfully, your boy, General Oliver North, took the hit. And he's like, yeah, man, it was me, man. Don't worry, it wasn't Ronald Reagan. It was me, Oliver North. And people are like, well, good enough for me. Why would the president ever lie to me? But what I'm kind of gearing up into right now is the reason why I say I look at modern politics and try to pretend that it was past politics, is because I can look at that and say, oh yeah, America's better now. Like, you know, we're not pieces of shit. We're not fucking assholes. It's a sad part of history. But again, you know, if you read, you know, the 1896 Supreme Court case, Plessy versus Ferguson, which basically allowed segregation separate but equal, it's like, oh wow, that's fucking depressing. But you fast forward in history, 1954, and you're like, oh shit, Brown versus Board of Education, black people and white people integrate. This shit is unconstitutional, you fucking sickos. And it makes you feel good because you go, at least, you know, after some time, America figured out what the fuck they were doing. But unfortunately, got your boy, my man's Donald Trump here in the present, and it's fucking frustrating because, I mean, Donald Trump, admittedly, you know, I don't know if he's another power monger in the sense of the executive branch. I honestly don't know. But, you know, it's hard to say that he's been an amazing president. It's hard to say he's been a positive force in America. He's definitely done one positive thing, and that is made people more aware of politics and understand that presidents do have clout and they do have some power. Congress makes the laws, but the president does have some pull and sway into how, you know, those laws are influenced, how that campaign happens, and how things occur, especially with a Supreme Court nomination. That, you know, does matter. And I think that's a positive. But other than that, Donald Trump just drains my fucking energy, bro. Like, first of all, there's so much shit. And again, this is a common, what I'm saying is not controversial. Like, at least for a majority of Americans, it's become a quote-unquote meme where people like Orange Man Bad, which is like, that's pretty funny because it's, you know, it's kind of taking everyone and just being like, you didn't know about politics before 2016, but now people tell you Orange Man Bad and you believe it. And half of it is like, okay, yeah, that's kind of funny, but the other half is like, you know, if people understand that Donald Trump isn't the best person, and I don't think he's a terrible person, but and again, if you looked at the election in 2016, it's almost hard to blame people for fucking voting for Donald Trump, because the Democrats shit all over that fucking election. They basically won Donald Trump the election. They're fucking retarded. It's amazing how dumb the fucking Democrats are. But he's just a drainer. Like right now, the government's been shut down for 16 days. This guy, he goes, this guy drains my energy. He goes, they go, yo, when is the government gonna open up again? He goes, yo, this could last months, maybe even years. And I'm sitting here going, Jesus, I need my tax returns done, Lord. I need my tax return done. Because if you don't know, I've been getting raped by my taxes, my boy. Because when I started working, I made the decision that I would keep the default tax payment that's for my employment. And if you don't know, in America, there's 4 different types of tax methods for you as an employee. By the way, I just want to mention right now, it's not looking too hot for me. I got 3 of these mongs alive, Yamcha, Oolong, and fucking Master Roshi. And I was like, you know what? I honestly thought I was going to lose. I was like, fuck it. Let me just try to do this, see what happens. But amazingly, I pulled through. So that shows the power of the dodge and the fucking tanking. But yeah, so there's 4 different ways you can get taxed in America, right? And there's 0, 1, 2, 3. Or actually, is there 0, 1, 2, 3 or is it 0, 1, 2, 3, 4? Or whatever. 0, 1, 2, 3. Right now I'm on 0. 0 being the most tax per pay period, and then 3 being the least. So like, if I was on a 3, I low-key be paying like no taxes, but guess what? When tax return time comes, that's when you pay up. That's when the IRS, Internal Revenue Service, is like, hey, you owe us money, give us money. 0, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get money back. So it's kind of preferential to 0 if you don't really need the money. But my nigga, I need that money. Like, the thing that's crazy is, like, I have a really good paying job. Like, just to give you an idea, every 2 weeks, I get $2,200 let's do it from this. I'm gonna talk like taxes don't exist. If taxes don't exist, I'm a rich motherfucker. If taxes don't exist, I get paid $3,200, $3,100 every 2 weeks. That's good fucking money. That's a lot of money, nigga. Like, my dad makes, what, $800 every week? So that's $1,600 every 2 weeks. So I basically make twice as much as my dad, right? But here's the problem, right? My parents, like, I have a poor foundation. You know what I mean? Like, I've been poor all my life. So this money influx is doing jack shit because I literally, the moment I started working at my job, 2 months into my job, my parents are like, Yeah, your sister who goes to a private school, that she needs money because we didn't pay for her school. If you don't pay it, she's not going to graduate. I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you draining me? So I took out a fucking credit card. I had a year and a half to pay off. Boom, 7K. So I put 7K on that card. I consolidated my dad's fucking debt. He had so much fucking debt. He had a couple thousand. Actually, it was like 8,000. Paid off a bunch of shit. And then eventually just basically put it on a credit card and just had it on payment plans. So, you know, the idea is that my parents are fucked financially. And because of past debt, current bills, that money, it's alright. It's okay. I'm living. I'm saving some. But we ain't living big like we supposed to be fucking living. I should be on 28s right now in a fucking Cadillac going down my street. Instead, I'm fucking here jerking off playing Dokkan. So anyway, I get paid that much every 2 weeks. But then your boy, Uncle Sam, comes through. He goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. Nigga, that's a lot of money, player. How about I take $900? And I'm like, oh, Lord. I'll go every time taxes come out, I go, oh Jesus, oh Yahweh, oh God, please. And they take a lot, man. They take a lot of fucking money. They take $900 every 2 weeks. That's significant as fuck. So with all the bills I pay, all the debt, all the bullshit, any emergencies that pop up, I'm the fucking savior. I need to fucking lower my tax rate, right? And I wanted to do that after I did my taxes. And usually for me, I do my taxes in January, late January, early February. But if the government still shut down your boy, I ain't gonna get my money back. I need that fucking money because I just told you I pay $900 every 2 weeks. So I should, with that logic, I should be at like what, $4 million back? I think $4 million is just about right. So I got $4 million coming to me, right? And I need that from the government. But if the government's fucking closed, how am I gonna get that money? Donald Trump, tell me how the fuck I'm supposed to build a wall to financial freedom if you're tearing that shit down, nigga. I thought you were about building walls. You fucking up my credit, man. Speaking of credit, I recently got a new cash back card, which hopefully will save me $100 in the next annual fiscal year, hopefully. But yeah, real talk, like what the fuck? Donald Trump's, his dumb immigration plans fuck drain me. His bullshit goddamn tax policy where, like, you know, everyone gets a tax pay cut, but rich ass motherfuckers who, you know, don't even believe it, don't even know what trickle down economics is, never mind fucking support it, get omega tax cuts. And then not only that, he starts coming for me personally. He starts fucking up my tax return? Nigga! You best believe. I promise you, listen to me. I have not voted yet. I officially have never voted. And before you go, oh my God, how can you complain if you never shut up, stupid? I didn't fucking like Hillary Clinton, and I didn't like fucking Donald Trump, so I didn't vote. You know, if someone comes to me and says, would you like to eat this piece of shit or drink this glass of piss? Yeah, either eat a piece of shit or drink some piss. I'm leaving. I'm sorry. I'm just leaving. You know, I know all that bullshit. Every person counts, blah, 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 whatever. Those candidates fucking sucked. I pray to God that fucking got the one and only Democratic Party figures out. Like, they literally have everything to win the next election. Hopefully they figure out a fucking plan. But, yeah, it might sound a little corny, but right now Donald Trump is fucking me up and my tax return. So really, when you think about it like that, it's not selfish. It's more like I'm looking out for you because it ain't just my tax return. Nigga, go talk to your parents right now. If you broke, go talk to your parents right now and go, how's the tax return situation happening? They're going to start crying because they know every year when the tax money come in, that's when the bills get paid, that's when the debt go down. And now that shit ain't going to happen. So you tell me what the fuck they feeling like, real talk. But it is what it is. And to make matters worse, I'm fucking sick today. I'm hoping that I can drink some tea and fucking eat some honey and I'll feel better by Monday because I need to go to work and get that fucking bread, son. But there you go. Peppy Gals, really easy category team. I'd recommend if you have at least 2 of these units that are summonables, just farm the rest of them up. Shit ain't bad. Hope you're glad. Remember, 2020, we going with Kanye, my nigga. Ye is going to run the office.